On behalf of all of us at Premium Service Brands, we wanted to thank you for your continued support. The candidates that you guys send our way are just the best of the best, and we appreciate the partnership. Premium Service Brands, obviously in the home service industry, we've got 9 different brands, all focused on the same end user. And we have been really able to leverage that end user through our platform called Nesto. Nesto is really our mini Angies or home advisors, where we're taking all of our customers and we are cross-marketing the other services that we have in that area. So it's really helpful to a launching franchise partner that comes in, say, with ProLift doors, but there's already a grout medic, a house doctor, and a 360 painting there. We're advertised that we've got the garage door service in their neighborhood. So somebody that's already used one of our services have had a great experience. We leverage that and be able to provide leads to our franchise partners with no customer acquisition cost. And most of the time, there's no competition because they've already had an experience with one of our brands. And it also allows our franchise partners to stack. So instead of going wide and buying 2-3 territories of the same brand, we're able to offer our franchise partners the ability to stack brands. So they may take on a 360, a grout medic, and a window gang, and they're able to leverage that customer, creating multiple revenue streams in their business. And give you an idea of how effective what we call Nesto is, or the stacking, is somebody who has gone wide and bought 2 or 3 territories in the same brand. When they open up their second territory in their first year, they're seeing around a 26% increase in revenue. That same franchise partner that decides to stack and does 360 painting and then a house doctor, we're seeing an 85% increase in revenue in that same first year, with far greater or far less investment in terms of customer and lead volume. So it has become a very effective way for franchisees to scale quicker, create multiple revenue streams. But Nesto is our future, and we believe that's the future in the home service industry, where we're able to help our franchise partners scale and leverage our end user across all nine of our brands. So I appreciate it. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to open this up to questions, but I really appreciate you being here, DR, you as well, Scotty, and look forward to getting a bunch of deals across the finish line.
Yep. Awesome. Awesome. Thanks so much, Paul. Really, really appreciate it. We're doing a Q&A at the end, but we can handle that, Paul. So it's awesome. Thank you so much. Perfect. Awesome. Well, guys, I'm Brian Hill. I'm the Executive VP of Franchise Development here, and wanted to kind of talk with you a little bit about stacking. Paul went into it pretty heavily, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time there. But I do think it adds a lot of value to candidates, and it really kind of helps open us up to what a lot of people wouldn't traditionally think of as a candidate for a home service type franchise, where I think we have that ability to really show well to candidates that are looking at, kind of have that empire builder mindset, want to build out a large multi-platform company. A lot of cases they look at like restaurants or retail, things like that. We show really well to those candidates simply because they're able to see that Nesto vision, that stacking vision, and understand how they can take this into and be a really, really large business. And then we also have really strong validation on the stacking front with some of our owners that have been doing that over the last few years. So it allows our owners to take that one territory, maximize the revenue out of that territory, and have those multiple service verticals like Paul was talking about, and maximize that revenue. So it really lowers that customer acquisition cost when you're going from into a separate brand in that same territory, as opposed to launching the same brand in a second location. So it's able to maximize your revenue and lower that customer acquisition cost because you already have that database of customers, and we're really, and our brands really mesh extremely well together, and utilize the same customer base across all of our brands, and so really stacking kind of across any of our brands can make a lot of sense. We also, in terms of commissions, I know it's always important in the conversation. We're best in class as far as commissions go. So we have multiple levels of commission based on the number of units that your candidates purchase from us when they move forward. And those also go across stacking as well. So if you have a candidate come in and they want to buy 3 units, but they want to stack those across 3 different brands, then that commission would stack as well. So first unit 40,000, second unit 30,000, and third unit is 20,000, and then 20,000 is the floor. So it's anything beyond that sticks at 20,000, and they're also sticky to you for the first 2 years after acquisition. So if they do come in and just buy 1, but within a year or 2 decide they want to add in multiple territories or multiple brands, you're still going to get that mailbox money coming in from the commission once they do make that acquisition. So yeah, it allows for our owners to be locally owned, dominate their territory in all the verticals. And I'll kind of pass this along now to Courtney. Courtney is going to talk through the operation side of things, what our operation support looks like. And she's our director of operational and compliance program. So Courtney, I'll let you jump in and take over.
Thanks, Brian. I know that's a mouthful of a title, and titles don't really matter, but I work on the operational side. And like Brian said, my main piece of my role is working in compliance. So we know that all of our franchisees do not want to hear from me, but luckily I get to jump in today for Roxanne, who is our Chief Operating Officer. Rich, if you want to go to the next slide. What we're going to go over from an operational standpoint, and we're going to do this as quickly as possible so I don't bog down our time. We're going to go over operational items, so what support looks like. We're going to talk about the contact center, and then we're going to talk about vendors and initiatives that come along from the operational side. So first, Rach, if you want to jump, I'm sorry, I'm manually asking you. The first piece from the operational side that we want to kind of give insight into are our key training points. So while training and performance is their own department, operations falls heavily within that. We are the regulators of all of our internal systems. And so really all of that starts at the operational side, and all of that falls within operations. So the big things that stand out inside of our training program is going to be technology. So our biggest piece of training is functionality of the CRM, which we utilize and leverage ServiceTitan. That is going to be a huge piece of training because our franchisees being literate in ServiceTitan is critical, not only for them running their businesses and being able to scale their businesses, but also, reporting their royalties and having a really good handle on the operational software. We have other technology points that are inside of our training, marketing and things like that. But ServiceTitan is going to be the top priority item. So the majority of the training goes through ServiceTitan. They go through demos. They go through, live training where they are actually actively doing things experientially. And so that is a very large piece. The next is going to be sales training. This really piggybacks well off of Birdie's presentation. When we look at the customer journey and the holistic customer journey, in-home sales is still a very, very big piece of the majority of our brands. So when we think about someone going and providing an estimate for 360 painting, or going out and doing work on a garage door, there is this sales training aspect that's really critical. So in order to have a great close rate, you have to have substantial sales training, and that is a large piece of operational training. The next is technical marketing. So Birdie heads up our marketing team. He's incredible. He does an incredible training. We hit on things, very high level from the operational standpoint, which is going to be within compliance, what you are contractually obligated to spend, and then how that falls into your marketing pro forma and plan. And then last are our vendor resources. And we'll talk a little bit about our vendors specifically. But when it comes to our vendor resources, this is a huge upside, which everyone knows, of franchising, where we have the opportunity to provide vendors and resources to our franchisees that would normally not have the opportunity because they don't have the scalability, they don't have the size, and they don't have the corporate backing. And so while they're going through the training process, they're being introduced to vendors, they are building those relationships and beginning to build those so they can leverage that throughout their tenure of their business. Okay, next slide, Rach. Maybe hit the space bar, Rach, and it'll go. Seems like it's being a little funky. Sorry, I froze. No, you're fine. Can you go back? I think it skipped. There we go. Okay. All right, so this is a high-level overview of what we just talked about. The additional support that comes through operations is going to come through the performance team. So outside of training, obviously training is going to be their first and pretty much their biggest investment when it comes to their time. And then they go into the actual running of their business. So once they go live, the support doesn't just end. It doesn't just cut off. We essentially have all of these different touch points of how they're going to continue to be supported, and really hand holding and the more onset of support is going to be at the beginning. And then as they continue to scale, the franchisee has more autonomy to say what they want from the perspective of support. So this is inclusive of peer groups, vendor support, one-on-one coaching, and additional initiatives. So to give you a little bit of insight, when they come out of training, we have what is called boot camp, which is essentially extended training. We can't cover everything in 3 weeks. We can't, go over every single thing and expect them to retain that through the 3-week process of OXP. So we have additional boot camp. So them coming out of training, they will weekly have building trainings, which will essentially build on what they learned inside of virtual and in-person training, pairing that with one-on-one coaching that they will have with their brand leading coaches, in addition to brand specific groups as well as peer groups. So you may be wondering what's the difference? Why are there so many groups? And the reason why is we have, brand specific is obviously going to be important because you have to have insight into the market. You have to understand what is happening with your peers. But then when we think about peer groups, we also have this incredible system that we get to leverage. So peer groups are actually geographically, they are all of the brands all mixed together and all different types of revenue, all brands, but they're more geographically focused so that you can have a little bit more of a relationship and an in-person opportunity. But that gives us all of these different perspectives on the business. So not only are we not staying siloed within our brands, we're really not staying siloed within our own system. And that helps our franchisees to have not only a vision of what they can get to, but also additional insights to things that they wouldn't be getting just within their own brand. One other thing that I want to highlight here, Rach, it's okay. You can. It's okay. One other thing to highlight here is additional initiatives. So one example of this right now that we are currently launching is a Holiday Lights initiative. So all of our franchise brands have the opportunity to add on this stream of revenue to their business. And so that's an operational and incentive and initiative that we are rolling out. We are doing things like that constantly. I mean, the system is always shifting and changing and growing. And so these things fall within the operational systems. Okay, Rach, let's go over the contact center. Now, I do not lead the contact center, and our contact center leader, his name is Paul Mays. He has 30 years of experience working in contact centers, and he is incredible. So I am not able to do it as much justice as he is able to do. He came onto our team, I think, last October. And I mean, he's just been doing incredible work inside of the contact center. The franchisees are incredibly pleased with what he has done and how he is running it. So when you hear the term Insight Business Solutions and you hear the term contact center, this is our internal, owned by Premium Service Brands contact center. This is not external. This is not something we're outsourcing overseas. This is a domestic, fully in the United States and fully owned by Premium Service Brands contact center. So we handle all inbound and outbound calling, texting, and all of those forms of communication for our franchise owners. And so what this looks like is having several different processes depending on the lead type in order to field and book that lead as quickly as possible and in the most effective way possible. So a couple of things to highlight in regard to the contact center. Of course, we have an integration with ServiceTitan. Everything goes through ServiceTitan. All of the calls are routed through ServiceTitan. All leads are put into ServiceTitan. All of the information is owned and held within the CRM. It makes it easy for the contact center. It makes it easy for the franchisee. It ensures that we have this full loop communication so that we are not missing out on any opportunity for revenue. The next piece is that we have brand specific experts inside of the contact center. So obviously having 9 brands, there is an opportunity for it to potentially be diluted. But the way that we have mitigated that risk is by having brand specific experts. So we do have agents inside of the contact center that work on several different brands. And I think the max is 3 brands that they would ever work on. But we also have essentially these ambassadors for the brand. So for example, someone who is incredibly well-versed in 360 painting would be the ambassador who works solely on 360 painting and will always be the authority when it comes to that. So that person helps to lead trainings, helps to be really involved in the processes to ensure that agents that are covering on these brands are very knowledgeable. They know how to handle certain situations. And that helps to keep a really specific knowledge and ensure that there's really no knowledge gap when it comes to our agents. And really the last piece, when we think of speed to lead, we all know that this is the most important and critical piece when it comes to home services. So taking a call and being able to take a call immediately when a lead comes into the contact center from a lead aggregator, being able to outbound that lead as well. That is the way that our conversion rate, which is essentially lead to estimate or lead to appointment, is going to remain, in the best of the best, in the top of the pipeline. Okay, Rach, if you want to go to the next one. All right, last thing we're going to hit on here is going to be our vendors. So when it comes to our vendors, we have a very large system when it comes to all 9 of our brands. So having top best-in-class vendors is incredibly important. We can't just put anyone in front of our franchise owners. So not only do we have a pretty extensive vetting process when it comes to vendors that we are going to put our name behind, but also there are pretty big non-negotiables when it comes to people that we will allow into our vendor pipeline and how we will allow them to interact with our franchisees. So the first piece is we have to have dedicated account management. So if we do not have a dedicated rep, if we are going to be calling the national line for support, that is not what we would consider a vendor relationship. There has to be some kind of exclusivity. There has to be some kind of priority for our franchisees in support specifically. And that is alongside what would come with exclusivity of pricing, exclusive access to products, exclusive access to training. All of these things have to have substantial benefit for the franchise owner in order for it to make sense for them to be a preferred vendor. There are thousands of vendors that we could have. We could have a 1,000-page vendor directory, but it just would not be effective as us vetting it and ensuring that we are actually giving our franchisees the best of the best to ensure that they are spending their dollars where we feel is most effective and that we are pointing them in the direction that's going to be best for their business. So Rach, if you want to go to the next slide, I can touch base a little bit on what this looks like. So when we think about vendor support, again, with being a platform franchisor, there are things and really great opportunities that we have brand agnostically. So we have vendors that are brand agnostic that can be utilized for everyone. So examples of this would be insurance, payroll, leasing, things like that. And then we also have brand specific support. So when we think about 360 painting, Made Right, Kitchen Wise, ProLift, Ruderman, all of these have substantial opportunity for brand specific vendor partnerships. So while we have a national partnership with Home Depot that all of our brands can benefit from, we also have a specific partnership with Clopay for ProLift garage doors. We also have a specific partnership with Sherwin-Williams for 360 painting. So while we have national vendors like Enterprise for leasing vehicles, we have to have that direct vendor support for our brands as well. So we have a lot of opportunity to leverage this big system that we have in order to create great national partnerships. People hear the name Home Depot or, they hear Sherwin-Williams, and it's very impressive. And it's very, very helpful for what we're able to create for our franchisees. But we also want to be very specific when we think about how we're supporting each of our brands individually as well. Okay, I think I'm right on the dot as far as time. I am going to hand it over to our incredible Director of Marketing, Birdie, and thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Courtney. You're always too kind, and amazing presentation. I am the marketing director for Premium Service Brands and responsible for all 9 brands within the PSB ecosystem, plus 2, which would be Nesto and Infinity Lights. More to come on that. But my relationship here with PSB is to make sure that the franchisees are well taken care of in their local marketing efforts as well as their digital marketing efforts. On top of that, I want to make sure that they do get the right education about what marketing is and the stay power of them being relevant within their local marketing populace. So just to give you a snapshot on the next slide of what the different services that we have to offer, it would be the following. The next slide. Digital foundation. So what the digital foundation looks like here is that we want to make sure that the ecosystem that you're entering as a franchisee is well taken care of. So the digital foundation includes your website, your Service Titan back area, which was mentioned in the previous slides. And all of this constitutes your holistic digital foundation. On top of that, we also have vendor partners that will be responsible for reputation management and listing management as well. And also your social activities online. We will internally be developing marketing guidebooks and seasonal campaigns to support your marketing efforts, both locally and digitally, to ensure that you're capturing all different sorts of leads, from awareness plays to conversion plays and actual, sales plays. We'll be able to encapsulate all of this within these different guidebooks and seasonal campaigns. There will also be a marketing help desk at your disposition, support@yourbrand.com, and we will be able to handle all of the marketing support tickets that you have available at your discretion. Beyond that, you'll have access to an asset library where you'll be able to get all the different types of collaterals available for your specific brand. We refresh these on the quarterly to make sure that we stay up to brand and that we stay up to trend, because authenticity more now than ever moving in 2025 is super important. And we want to make sure the content kind of reverberates some of that authenticity and it's not so cookie cutter across the board. Creative services is another option that you have to leverage with PSB, where we'll be able to tailor specific content to your needs in your local marketing populace. This is something that we offer on a needs and wants basis. So once you submit your creative request, we'll be able to assist you in developing that creative content. On top of that, we have a great partnership with Ralio, where we develop social content for you and have a very unique platform where we can do one button pushes and you can have your social efforts taken care of. On top of that, just icing on the cake, we have ongoing training that you'll have access to by yours truly and the marketing team, where we'll be able to consistently keep you on marketing task that will make you very on trend to the latest and greatest different tactics that are out there in the marketing world. We know that the attention span of people nowadays is very short. We want you to capture everything possible within that short attention span and convert sales and get more leads inside of the door. All of this together represents the holistic approach that we have to marketing and the support that PSB offers to you as a franchisee coming into our ecosystem. And that is what I have available for you today.
Awesome, Bertie. Thanks so much, my friend. I really appreciate it. We're going to move into brand-specific conversations now. So we're going to have Matt kick it off from the Caymans, talking house doctors and 360 painting. So Matt, I'll let you jump right in.
Daggum, I got to update that slide, that picture. Man, 100 pounds lighter than that. All right, I appreciate you guys jumping on here. We won't take too much of your time. I won't step over too many or repeat some other things you've already heard. We'll talk about two brands today. First one being house doctors. Many of you know. Go to the next slide real quick. I get this question a lot from candidates early on call one, and I like to slay it and help them understand quickly. They don't need to have 10 years experience in this industry. They don't need to be passionate about the handyman services. It is more about them having business acumen and can they follow a proven model. That's it. So I like to make that distinction early, because you get some people come in here with head trash that says, oh, I got to have 20 years experience or love this industry. No, you don't. So that's number one. Number two, I like to help them understand in the beginning, keep it super simple. We're doing nothing but simple handyman jobs. And this helps them mentally picture what it is and best understand it. As you see here, we've got a few things on this screen we'll go over. Founded in 97, acquired in 21. We've actually got a few more units than that now. You see the industry size. I love this industry because we live in this DoorDash society. Customers out there, both residential, commercial, have a need. They don't have time to do it. They don't know, or they don't know how to do it, or they don't want to do it. And we will gladly fill that void. Standard franchise fee, net worth. On the net worth side, a lot of times if they can just qualify for an SBA and have working capital as well, that will suffice. So don't just hold to that to a T. If you've got somebody on the bubble or just under it, give us a shout. Let's chat about it. A couple things here real quick. E2 visa friendly. If you have any candidates that come in on the E2, two types of models in our executive model here. They can be semi-absentee day one or active owner. Now, when we say active owner, that does not mean jump out there. We want them swinging a hammer. We actually do not want them on the tools. And I've got a map up here real quick. You see all the red dots on the map. Those are owned territories. The rest is wide open. So we have a lot of white space. Next slide. We've also got an aging in place program. With all of us getting older, this provides another opportunity for us to go out there and retrofit customers' homes, offices, so they can live longer in those spaces. And it's a viable opportunity where it just one more way to help us differentiate from our competitors and drive revenue and give that customer another reason to call us. Next slide. All right, the other brand I want to talk about is 360 Painting. Many of you know this brand as well. Next slide. Just so that your candidates know, once again, I let them know early on call one, they don't need to be passionate about the painting industry or have all these years of experience. It is a needed service, recession resistant, pandemic resistant, Amazon resistant. I've done it myself years ago as an independent and now representing this brand for years. And it's another great brand, great opportunity for them to come in very lean, start from home, no brick and mortar needed, and help them, keep it lean like that to get that break even and profitability much quicker. Very similar to our other brands. Franchise fee is $65,000 for one location. The first one, we have veterans discount off that franchise fee and first responders. You see the investment range there. It also is an executive model, whether they're going to be an active owner or semi-passive. We do have a vendor partner in Sherwin-Williams that we put them or connect them with during the process to set up a local meet and greet to learn about the industry and about our relationship. That will be a force for finding the best painting crews in their market. So another great lean starting, fast ramping brand and a needed space out there in the U.S. Next slide. And like we talked about, Sherwin-Williams, a great vendor partner, and the Home Depot as well. We're going to leverage those relationships to help them go out there, take up market share, and scale their business. So whether they start with one location, two locations, or three, or they stack, depending on their net worth and capital available, we can help them hit their goals. I think that's it. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Brad, you're muted, just at FYI. So Brad's going to jump in and he's going to talk about Made Right and Window Gang. So Brad, I'll let you unmute and take over.
All right. Good to meet everybody. Brad here with Made Right. I have another slide, don't I, coming up? There we go. As you can see, we got lots of white space and opportunities available. In this industry, one thing that I think a lot of people find really attractive as an investor is we have a high repetitive base, a 77% repeat business. And so industry size is 1.7 billion, and it's growing. If you look at the trends, it's a growing industry. There's a lot of growth into the two-family income, and the investment's about 103 to 147. And again, 65,000 for one unit. We are part of Vet Friends, so we offer veteran discounts. Again, net worth 150, and we can work around that. So please reach out if you have some owner or some liquidity, good credit. We can work around that. 25 units. Looking at getting some pretty good momentum and growth this year. And we do not require a brick and mortar, so you can start from home. So again, low overhead. And it's also, this is very scalable. Whether they start with 1 or 2 locations, you not only can you start with a maid, either 1 maid or 2, but the overhead is not very high. Our job average size is about 202, and so and that is across the board. And again, right here is right out of our FDD is 85.6% recurring revenue, and so. And then again, we can get a rather fast startup if that's something that's important for somebody leaving corporate America. So generally 60 to 90 days, we have people up and going. And so again, I know this, we also, some just do residential, we do residential and commercial cleaning, the right type of residential cleaning. So few things, we are part of Cleaning for a Reason, which is offering free home cleaning to cancer patients across North America and Canada, and also Kids Lift, which is investing into underprivileged kids, one community at a time. So we are very active in the community as far as Made Right goes. So those are 2 organizations that we are very, very proud of. And then we got Window Gang. Next slide. So Window Gang, we started in 1986, and I can say since 1986 is the first time we have a full-time representative in this industry. So not only have we created, an amazing product, we have other lines of service. So we have pressure washing, soft washing, which is like washing a home, gutter cleaning, dryer vent cleaning, and chimney sweeping. So once we're on the job, we can identify other opportunities that can make an immediate impact. So as of right now, again, we kind of grew organically. We acquired Window Gang in 2023. So we're excited about its growth. From 50 units, again, it's a huge industry, 2.5 billion. Investment range is only 108 to 148. Again, the investment fee is 65 for 1 unit. We still offer the vet friend discount as all of our other brands. We talked about net worth. Again, lots of open territory. And then when it goes to ideal candidate, someone that's really comfortable networking, being part of the community, and just being really active in the community is something that makes a relationship builder, should I say, makes a very good candidate for Window Gang. So one thing that we've been really proud of is we've been ranked #1 cleaning in the Franchise 500 for the last, or not in the Franchise 500 and the Entrepreneur Magazine for 7 years in a row. Just like cleaning, this is a reoccurring repeat business model. Again, with over 35 years experience, and we have part of the reason, along with our multiple revenue streams, is our Window Blue. So we're now on our 4th solution. It's with proprietary window cleaning solution, and along with both my brands, with Mid-Right and with Window Gang, we focus on being eco-friendly. So all of our products are eco-friendly, And again, you can have a pretty quick startup within 60 to 90 days. So going to Kyle, thank you guys for your time, and I'll let you take it off, Kyle.
Thanks, Brad. DR, Scotty, good to see you guys. I think we worked together in the past. In my previous life over at Raintree, I was hoping to see Julia Berman on the call today. I worked with her. She was my colleague. So appreciate your time and jumping on, and excited to work with you guys with PSB. But I'm currently the VP for Rubbish Works Junk Removal and ProLift. I'll start with ProLift. ProLift is an industry-leading garage door maintenance, repair, and installation franchise for both residential and commercial properties. It's PSB's second brand in the portfolio behind 360 Painting, and been franchising since 2015 with 64 units currently in operation. ProLift is a home-based business, so there's no need for a brick-and-mortar location, so that helps keep the initial investment and overhead low. It's a pretty simple and straightforward business model where you can start with just one truck, one technician, and scale with more trucks and technicians to meet the demand. ProLift is one of our on-demand type businesses that's not only recession resilient, but it is also an urgent service. Most people, I think, use their garage door more than they use their front door. So if it breaks, it's going to be a priority for them to get it fixed, even if times are tough. As far as the economics, our investment is expected to be about $150,000, which does include the $65,000 franchise fee. And no, it does not include the Cybertruck on the picture there. Our top performer with ProLift is at $2.3 million, and our average revenue system-wide is $477,000. Our average ticket is $982, so our owners are able to see excellent profitability due to our high value of services and low overhead, because all of your equipment and supplies are going to be directly correlated to the growth of the business and the jobs that are getting done. Who are we looking for? I'd say our ideal owner would be someone that can step into more of an owner-operator type role in the beginning. We do allow for more of a semi-active type role for those that do have some flexibility in their schedule, and they're still able to oversee the day-to-day of the business and be active in their community to promote the business. But if the owner wants to keep their job and can't really oversee the day-to-day, and they have a Monday through Friday 9 to 5, they would need to hire a general manager. We don't want the owner turning wrenches. They should be more focused on managing their technicians, admin type duties, community involvement, and outreach to partner with property management type companies, realtor groups, and other networking outreach within their territory as well. Some target markets for ProLift would be Phoenix, Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, Boston, Cleveland, Detroit, and Raleigh, Durham. Okay, next slide. Let's talk about Rubbish Works. Rubbish Works is a junk removal franchise for both residential and commercial properties. It's PSB's newest brand in the portfolio, so we just have 3 franchise owners nationwide. So you can see on the map here, obviously a lot of white space. With Rubbish Works, we do prioritize eco-friendly services and recycle up to 50% of what we haul away, and then we donate the rest whenever possible. Rubbish Works is also a home-based business, so there's no need for a brick-and-mortar location, which helps keep the initial investment and overhead low. And just like ProLift, it's a pretty simple, straightforward business model, and you can just start with one truck, but you will need 2 technicians in the truck for Rubbish Works compared to the one with ProLift. Rubbish Works can be more of an absentee type ownership model. Our current owner has been putting in less than 10 hours a week since he first started. I think that's because junk removal is a very simple type business. And I think also, unlike some of our other home service brands where you need to rely on a specialized licensed technician, you don't need that for Rubbish Works, which makes it pretty easy to find labor. All your employees need is a valid driver's license and ability to lift 75 pounds. Like ProLift, Rubbish Works is another one of our on-demand brands and also recession resilient and has some urgency behind the services. So both of these brands, we typically don't see a lot of price shopping because the average ticket is lower than $1,000. And it's more of an urgency type service. And compared to some of our project-based models, like 360 painting, for example, where the customer might be getting a few different quotes because it's a much higher average job size. But with our customers, they typically don't do a whole lot of price shopping. It's typically, first to the job is going to get the job. And that tends to lean into higher margins because we don't need to be as competitive with our pricing. Just like ProLift, our investment is expected to be $150,000, which includes the $65,000 franchise fee. And while we don't have any historical performance metrics listed in our item 19, it's no secret about the profitability of junk removal businesses. 1-800-GOT-JUNK reports $2.5 million per franchise location in their item 19. College Hunks reports $1.3 million, and both are reporting a 15% margin. Our current owner sees an average ticket of $418. So if you do the math, just 3 jobs a day, that would be a $457,000 business that you can run semi-absentee. Our ideal owner would be someone that would be excited to get in as an early adopter. We are giving 2-for-1 territories for the first 15 franchise owners to really ensure they're successful. We're also giving some forgiveness on some of the upfront fees. We really need to build a solid foundation with some strong franchise owners. So there's going to be a lot of individualized training and support and larger territories and lower fees to make sure that they're successful. The role of an owner with Rubbish Works would be more so managing their technicians, admin duties, community involvement and outreach to partner with property management companies and realtor groups, and doing other networking outreach within their territory as well. And both for ProLift and Rubbish Works, we're looking for someone that ideally has some business acumen or management experience and wants to be involved in their community, as well as $75,000 liquid and $150,000 net worth to qualify. Before I pass to Justin, I'll just mention that home service brands and the trades are not going anywhere, and I think they're going to remain in high demand, even with the changes in the economy and technology. And I'm super excited to be a part of PSB and looking forward to working with you guys again on ProLift and Rubbish Works.
Hey, thank you, Kyle. I appreciate it. DR, Scotty, how are you guys doing today? Got your, we're not boring y'all, are we? Y'all are good? Hanging with us? All right, good. We're doing kitchen. A little background on me, originally from Dallas. I had a whole corporate career from this. In 06 to 2017, I sold employee benefits to companies. So group insurance, life, disability, dental. And then I had some friends of mine, Brad and Miriam on this call, as a matter of fact, and Matt got me over to Neighborly, and I started cutting my teeth in this world in 2018. And then Paul recruited me over, and I'm very grateful for this feeling. He was talking to me about this franchise, Grout Medic, and I remember being like, Grout Medic? And I mean, talk about judging a book by its cover. It's exactly what I did, but I'm glad I did it because now I can see what people like yourself maybe or other candidates do when they hear it. So don't judge a book by its cover on Grout Medic. Oh, we're doing kitchen wise. Can we skip and go backwards for me, Rachel? Such a stud, Rachel. I appreciate you. So Grout Medic, don't judge a book by its cover. So Grout's not sexy, but our numbers are. $97,000 investment. That's the price of a new F-150 these days. So I think people can afford that. I have white space for days like several of our other FDs on here. This is an executive model as well. I do not want them touching the grout. I want them working on the business, not in the business. I'd say 95% of the people I speak to, if not more, come from corporate America. So again, like Matt was saying earlier, I don't need them to know anything about grout. We'll take care of that, and they're going to be hiring people that are professionals in that area. Their main focus needs to be working on the business, not in the business. As far as money, and this is where this gets interesting. I want them cash flow positive in 90 days or less. Our average ticket is going to be $1,000 on a job that can be done in less than a day. So they're going to get to a point to where they have 3, 4, 5, 6 techs. I want them bringing in $3,000 to $6,000 a day. Very simplistic model. They're showing up to a house with equipment that fits in a bucket, a steamer the size of a small vacuum. Very simplistic model with many revenue sources. So we do a lot more than just grout. So of course we clean it, color it, seal it, repair it. We do all that. But we also can work on tile floors, backsplashes in the kitchens, bathtubs, toilet showers are a big revenue source for us. Recocking them, regrouting them, making them look brand new again. People have no idea how clean we can get their showers. If there's water damage behind the shower wall, we're fixing that. Water damage under a shower pan, we're fixing that. Light stone repair, light pole repair. So what you have are all these things that we can do under this umbrella of tile, grout, and water damage. So again, a simplistic model with many revenue sources. So we got executive model and a simplistic model. 5% material cost, exceptionally low in the franchise world. I can do commercial and residential. Vet offices, doctor's offices, obviously restaurants are going to be a big one for us. Apartments, hotels. Once they grow up, you know, and they're adults in their franchise world, you know, I want that split to be about 75-25, 75 to the residential. And then one of the best things about this brand, outside of simplistic and all of the other things I spoke about just a moment ago, is I want them netting 20% net margins. And then I want them, if they're doing it right and they're involved in their business the correct way, they're able to pay themselves a salary and still net those margins. They're going to speak with validation owners of mine that I have on Google Meets, or they're going to share their screen, so it makes it much more personable. There's going to be several candidates on the call looking around, looking at like, wow, there's a lot of people checking this brand out. And there's an owner that looks just like me for the most part, making it happen. And he's talking about his 20+% margins and how he's paying himself a salary. So I'm going to have these calls weekly. So we have strong validation. We have good culture over here. That's something I always speak about, but then through the process of working with me, these candidates get to see it. They get to feel it. And not just with Grout Medic. I'll give a shout out to Premium Service Brands as a whole. We have good culture over here, and it's something that I have no problem putting my name behind. Average owner is doing $750,000, and that is and the same with who we're looking for on this brand. It's no different than whatever everybody else is speaking about. Looking for character, integrity, good organization skills, somebody who can lead a team and is professional. Rachel, let's go do Kitchen Wise now. This is a newer concept. We acquired this brand. Premium Service Brands acquired this brand in like middle of 22, late 22. I have 8 owners. I don't have a lot of white space. As you'll see from this picture, we're pretty backed. I have 8 owners across the country. So, you know, one of the things when Paul Flick asked me to take this brand on, I immediately, I just had a reaction like, wow, only 8 owners? Like, doesn't that make a candidate feel like a bit of a learning curve or something like that? And Paul gave me really good advice. He was like, well, sure, it's a smaller brand, but don't you think other brands that we've had at one point, like 360 Painting, you know, Matt's brand or House Doctor, they had 10 or 12 owners, or 360 at one point had 1. Now it has over 100, I believe. And that really opened my eyes up to like, while the brand might be small, the father behind it, you know, in Premium Service Brands is what we do. So I have no doubt that we're going to add a solid 15 owners this year and really grow this brand. We do a lot more than kitchens and closets. So we the best way to understand what we do is we maximize space in a home. So sure, kitchens and closets are going to be our bread and butter, but I had an owner say, if there's a wall, we can do something to it. We can maximize space on it. So think about kids' playrooms, garages, mud rooms, pantries, laundry rooms, a man's garage. You know, we can maximize space in that, which means we can go back to that customer a second time. So it's not one and done with the customer. Being a partner of Home Depot is different for this brand than some of our others on premium service brands. So one of the things that Home Depot is going to do for this brand is send out leads. So like myself, not a handyman, but if I went into a Home Depot and bought some shelves and bought things, they would third party out to Kitchen Wise, Closet Wise as an option. So there's another lead source that comes from Home Depot. So this brand in particular benefits quite well from Home Depot. Average ticket's going to be about $4,000 to $5,000. And the other thing I enjoy about this is the ability to win the $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 job. Grotmedic, the brand I was speaking about a moment ago, there's no $20,000 wins on that brand. It's a little different. And I just had a mental deal on Grotmedic. Just so you don't know, I brought up a second ago that we have a $1,000 average ticket. That's on a job that can be done in less than a day. If I didn't say that earlier. Sorry, brain's going back and forth on you guys. So average ticket 4 to 5 back on Kitchen Wise, Closet Wise. I want them netting 15 to 20% on this brand. Again, executive model here. I want them working on the business, not in. They're never hanging closets or working in the kitchen. Simplistic model, not a lot of overhead. I don't need equipment, things like that. They use subcontractors, not full-time employees. $108,000 investment. Strong validation, strong culture. So the owners that I do have, again, they're on every 3 weeks. I have a new owner, but weekly. So each week I have an owner on. So a candidate that goes through the process with me is going to speak to 3 owners within 3 weeks, and good, solid owners that have good morals and character that want to help and are going to show well and are going to speak well about the brand. Last, I'll give you guys a little day in the life and then I'm done, just to kind of give a visual of what an owner would do. Marketing dollars go out, they generate a lead, the lead comes in, it calls the call center. The call center books it on their customizable calendar, and then they or their sales rep can go to that home. Let's use Miss Smith's closet as an example. Use a unique laser measuring device, get the dimensions of the closet, put it into a tablet, and then we're able to show Miss Smith right there. Here's what it looks like, and we can copy and paste things in and out of it. An island, a shoe rack, spot for the dresses, spot for the sport coats. Miss Smith gets a visual, loves it, wants to move forward. We submit. The order then goes to the vendor. The vendors, depending on their backlog and the size of the order, 2 to 3 weeks, the product is shipped out. Subcontractors come pick the product up, take it to Miss Smith's house, and then in a day or two, the job is complete. Do a final walkthrough, collect the remaining balance, and rinse, recycle, and repeat. I have a 3-year owner already in the $1 million, and I have a 5-month owner in 300,000 plus. That's what I got for you guys. Thank you for your time.
Awesome, Justin. Thanks so much. Thanks, FranDev team. So that concludes the presentation portion. We did leave some time here for some Q&A. Scotty and DR, if y'all have any questions for anyone on the FranDev team, brand specific, things like that, we're happy to take those questions now.
Yeah, one quick question for you. The technology side, or is it's sometimes referred to the Uber technology on the ProLift brand, is that how? And I just went through this. I had I own 2 homes, and both garage doors went not only the opener but the spring went in a matter of weeks from each other. And I used the technology. I just went online and scheduled an appointment, and I had somebody at each location within an hour. Is that how your location, your technology, this Uber technology, is working for your franchisees? Or are you part of a group like the guys that came to my house were independents that were part of that service? Can you share anything on that?
Yeah, so I think you're referring to like the call center, and then the call center booking appointments for our technicians to get there as quickly as possible.
Well, I went right online, said, yes, I need somebody immediately. Somebody called me right back, and they had somebody out there in an hour.
Yeah, that's the model because again, typically, they're not going to necessarily be shopping quotes because it's more of an emergency based service where they just want to get it fixed as quickly as possible. And that's where our call center comes in and they're answering the phone in real time and, getting a technician out there as quickly as possible.
Okay. All right.
Well, a lot
So
of our-
you're doing it with your own call center then, not because the
Correct.
person that I called actually is a service for garage door repair companies.
Yeah. A lot of our competitors are kind of what I refer to as like the chuck in the truck. So, they are on a job and they don't have the resource of a call center to, be able to answer it because, they're on another job. So that's where, we're typically able to answer the phone quickly through the call center. And then they're just using that Service Titan platform that Courtney was talking about to book the technician right away so they can get out there as quickly as possible.
And is it strictly just garage door repairs, or is it new garage doors, new springs, new everything? Remote, the remotes, the keypads. I mean, is it pretty much everything related to a garage door?
Everything. Yep. And we're even seeing people want to do upgrades where they can control the garage door from their phone when they're not home. People running into their garage door, new installations. So yeah,
No, that's all part of the garage door. Yeah, MyCQ does all that. Yeah.
correct. Yep.
All right, good. That's good to know. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, Scotty. Any other questions for the group here?
I am all set. I got to run. I got a 2 o'clock. I think DR's got a 2 o'clock. So we got to bounce.
Awesome. Thanks,
guys.
Scotty. Thanks.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
everything,
Bye-bye.
guys. Thanks for organizing this. Appreciate you.
Yep, absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
so much.